Hello friends, I am from Biology faculty of Careless Academy. Today we are going to learn about heredity and evolution. I am sure you will enjoy learning this lesson. Let's start with our class of today. First topic is acquired and inherited traits. We now already know that evolution is the sequence of gradual changes which takes place in the primitive organisms over a million of years in which new species are produced. A trait or a characteristic of an organism which is not inherited but develops in response to environment is called as acquired trait. जो trait inherit नहीं हो रहा है मतलब जो हमें अपने पेरेंट्स से नहीं मिल रहा है, हम किसी environment के response में वो trait develop कर रहे हैं, उसे हम कहते हैं acquired trait. For example, if a beetle does not get sufficient food for a considerable time, its weight will be reduced due to starvation. Let's consider another example. A man may know how to swim or roller skate or speak French or may have a scar on the face from a cut he got in an accident. All these are acquired traits or characteristics which the man has picked up or acquired himself as he goes through life. The man is not born with these traits and he cannot pass on these traits to his children. The acquired traits of organisms cannot be passed on to their future generation. Acquired traits हम future generation को provide नहीं कर सकते, वो pass नहीं होंगे. We have already studied that the traits of a parents are passed to the offspring through genes in the reproductive cells or gametes during the process of reproduction. So, for the trait of an organism to be passed on, it must have been caused by a changes in the gene or a DNA present in the reproductive cell of the organism. In other words, only those traits can be transmitted to the future generation in which changes have occurred in the genes or the DNA present in the reproductive cell or gametes of the parent's organism. Suppose there is population of red beetles in the green bushes. Again, suppose that a color variation arises due to reproduction so that there is one beetle which is green in color instead of red. This change of green color in the beetle has been brought about by a change in the gene or the DNA of the reproductive cell. The green color of this beetle is an inherited trait which can be passed on to the next generation. Inherited traits actually mean the characteristics which we receive from our parents. Speciation. Individuals of a species are similar and they can breed among themselves. At the same time, there are some small but significant differences or variations between the individuals of a species. Heritable variations are transmitted to the offspring. These variations are important as they produce changes in the characters of that particular species. This leads to the microevolution or evolution on a smaller scale with the emergence of new varieties or new subspecies. Suppose there are beetles spread over a large area. If the population of beetles get divided into two subpopulations by a barrier, say a river or a mountain, then it will be difficult for the members of one subpopulation to go to the other side for mating. Therefore, exchange of genetic material or gene flow between them will decrease. They will be restricted to mate within their own subpopulation. In other words, they will be forced to inbreed or mate with closely related individuals in their own isolated subpopulation. In this process, the recessive mutant genes of each parent have a much greater chance of coming together. The genes will now be expressed, giving benefit or harm to the offspring. New generation differ so much from their original population that they can no longer interbreed to produce fertile offspring. This leads to speciation, that is, the formation of one or more species from an existing species. After a few years, if a male beetle from one isolated area and a female from another area are brought together, they may or may not mate with each other. If they mate but are unable to reproduce, then they have become two different species. अगर वो mate कर रहे हैं but they are unable to reproduce नहीं कर पा रहे, तो वो दो different species में develop हो चुके हैं. If they are able to reproduce, then they are still the same species. अगर वो reproduce कर रहे हैं तो मतलब कि वो same species ही हैं. Over many generations, different variations are accumulated in each subpopulation. Suppose for example, in one area with beetle subpopulation, crows are scarce due to the presence of eagles, and in another area, crows are present in large numbers. Natural selection will not select the green variety of beetles in the first area as there are no crows to eat the beetles. But the green variety will be selected in the second area as the crows will eat the other beetles there. Thus, natural selection may operate differently on the same variation in subpopulation of different areas. nature will select those variations that help to adapt better in a particular environment. Over the period of time, the process of genetic drift and natural selection will cause the two isolated subpopulation to become more and more different from each other. Now, next topic is evolution and classification. The classification of an organism into a hierarchy of groups, namely kingdoms, phyla or division, classes, order, families, genera and species, is based on their similarities and differences. Although they belong to the same genus, they show subtle variations. Similarities suggest that some similar characters are present in the group. These characters must have come from common genes, which in turn have come from a common ancestor. To interpret similarities and differences between groups on the basis of their evolution, we go down the hierarchy of classification. Classification shows how closely organisms are related with respect to evolution. It is based on the assumption that each organism has descended from its ancestral type with some modification. There is hierarchy of characteristics that helped taxonomists to form classification groups. For example, the first level of classification depends on whether the cell has a nucleus or not. जो first level of classification है वो depend करता है कि cell के पास nucleus है या नहीं. Except the members of the kingdom Monera, example is bacteria, all other organisms have a true or well defined or organized nucleus. The next level of classification depends on whether the nucleated organisms are unicellular or multicellular. जिनके पास न्यूक्लियस है वो क्या यूनिसेल्यूलर है या मल्टीसेल्यूलर है. The basis for classifying the multicellular organism is whether they are capable of photosynthesis or not. The basis for classifying no photosynthetic organism is the presence or absence of the vertebral column in the body. In this way, organisms can be arranged in groups on their physiological, biochemical, anatomical or evolutionary relationships. In order to find out the evolutionary relationships among organisms, we have to look for their common features, which we will study in next class. So students, this was all about acquired and inherited traits, how speciation occurs. I hope you all enjoyed learning this lesson, and if you have any more doubts, you can go to the following link.